welcome traders to our post-week market review. So jumping straight into things here from where the market opened up, which was this candlestick here. As you can see, upon market open, we saw some bearish momentum continuing this previous fall that we saw on sort of Thursday and Friday last week. We saw that continuation all the way up until sort of pre-London session, where we ended up finding some sort of support or price rejected at around the level of 4,410. From there, you can see that price ended up, we saw a change of character within price. We created its next lower high, but then we also created a higher low instead of a lower low. After this lower high, we created a higher low, indicating to us that we might actually see that continued change of character in comparison to this big steep drop that we saw here. And as you can see, we did see price continue. We saw price continue and eventually break one of our points of interest, a key level at 4,880. From there, price pushed above it, and we tested a lower level that we have marked in here. And as you can see, price continued to reject off of this level as a support, eventually giving buyers enough traction to push price up to our point of interest of around 5,093. As you can see, this was a previous all-time high, and price has come down to test this level as a support. So we sort of just saw that break and retest pattern on those higher time frames. As you can see then, price came back down to this 4,880 level. We rejected as support once again. However, we then saw price try to push up to equal this previous high, but we ended up rejecting at around the level of 5,000. From there then, you can see price more or less just continued bearish until price rejected as support off of 4,685, our point of interest that we have marked in here. Again, a previous all-time high, and you can also see when price does come to this level, you can see that it is rejecting. Sort of from there then on the Friday, we saw enormous bullish momentum for the first few hours of the Asian session. As we crept into the London session / New York session, volume dropped down, but you can see that we did continue in a bullish fashion, with price eventually closing at the level of 4,960. So what could we expect to see with gold next week or the week coming? So where we currently are now, we are on the back end of a bullish push, with price currently rejecting off of this point of interest here. With this amount of bullish volume that we see, we can expect most likely that price is going to continue on to go and test that previous high that we made here. So we're going to expect continued bullish momentum upon market open. However, there might be a chance for some sort of rejection at this minor level at 5,000, and we could see price push up slightly on market open, and then we could potentially see price drop back down to around that 4,880 level. If we do see that, we could potentially see price reject and then continue and eventually break at this level here. If we do see price break that level there, then we're going to expect price to continue on up. However, we are going to be watching sort of what happens between 5,000 and around 4,880. That does not mean that if price does not get held up at the level of 4,880, then we are going to see a continued bearish move like this. That doesn't necessarily mean it, as we currently have a few points of interest in and around this area that price could easily reject off of. What we will do is we'll go to our 4-hour time frame, and you'll just see that bullish move in a little bit of a clearer fashion. So you can also see that we had this big bearish move creating a lower low and then a lower high, and then again we had that higher low. So we are now in that formation of a higher highs and higher lows. If we are going to see that continued pattern take place, if we are going to see it continue, then we are going to see price at some point in the first couple of days past this high here, and then create another high potentially around sort of this level here, let's say around 5,200. So with that being said, it's pretty much it for our post-week market review. In conclusion, the entire week has been sort of consolidating. We saw bearish price action beginning the week, then we saw a bullish push to around 5,090, and then we saw bearish movement push price back down, and then we've seen price push back up. So more or less consolidation, bearish start to the week, bullish sort of middle of the week, and then a bearish end to the week, and then sort of a final bullish push just finishing off the week before market closed on Friday night at 10 p.m. GMT. Obviously the market does open up in 13 hours now, so we will be able to see what happens later on today, but it'll be interesting to see what does actually happen. Obviously, we will touch base again in our midweek technical analysis and go over everything, and we can sort of re-establish what has happened. But I think overall for gold right now, we are going to see that bullish momentum continue. Obviously, if we come to our midweek technical analysis and prices somewhere down here, then we could potentially be seeing a sort of fake out. We could see this higher low as sort of a fake out. We could see price create a high at this area, the lower high, and then we could see price come down to one of these levels down here and create a lower low. But obviously we just have to wait for market open and the first few sessions of Monday to sort of really justify where we could potentially see gold go. So it's pretty much it for our post-week market review. Sorry, it's not as much detail as it normally is, but there's not too much to go over. There's no significant moves this week. Price action's actually been relatively nice with a nice break and retest patterns here and there. Some nice price action. Quite easy to trade, I would say. So you can see here sort of on those lower time frames. If I go to minute 5 as well, zoom out, you can see price action's actually been really, really nice. We've seen those breaks, we've seen those retests on previous support as resistance. We've seen price really, really respect our points of interest that we have marked in. As you can see, sort of most of the levels that price has had some sort of reaction to, we have marked in. So it sort of solidifies where we have our points of interest and gives us a little bit more confidence when we're looking at the charts. Just knowing that, okay, cool, our points of interest are sort of sustainable for the moment. So but yeah, that's pretty much it for our post-week market review. As always, I hope you have all enjoyed. Don't forget to hit that like, comment and subscribe button. Remember, keep dropping me comments in below. I love hearing the feedback. It means the world to me to just sort of load up on the channel and see the comments from you guys, whether they be positive or negative. I could not care less. Just comments. It's really, really nice to hear what you're thinking when you are watching these videos. So yeah, once again, that's going to be our post-week market review, and I will catch you in our midweek technical analysis video. Peace.